You guys asked for it. We're no longer in a minivan. I'm Jefferson.
I'm Swiss Cheese. It's been an adventure.
That's what you called that for sure. That's one way to put it.
Yeah, it's been a wild one. So it's funny because when we're always on the road, we'd always talk about like the stories we tell and everything along those lines, the things that have happened. We're always just kind of waiting for that podcast to like ask us to be on and ask us questions because it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I don't want to edit anything more.
No, yeah. It's a lot simpler to be like, hey, why don't you ask me what you want to hear? And then like, I'll decide how much I want to tell you. But we're done waiting. So we created this podcast concept.
Drew Gibson air quote,
just to kind of explain the disc golf that we saw while on tour.
Basically, we wanted to see what you guys wanted to hear from us because we know what we did, but we don't know what's interesting to you from food we ate, experience we saw, the disc golf we actually experienced. So let us know everything from, basically, I think the idea of this is we were on the road from chess.com through Champions Cup.
Yeah.
Every event.
2 months, was it a month or two just in Texas?
Yeah,
I think? Yeah.
A solid month in Texas. I lived in Texas for a month.
Yeah,
I'm telling people.
Yeah, I tell people I live in Texas too. I do that all the time.
But yeah, so we experienced a lot of disc golf culture and obviously the disc golf drama and controversy that we've clearly talked about all season. But this is our opportunity to hopefully shed some light on our journey.
We're going to ask for your feedback. This is kind of the prelims to what we're going to do, what you guys want to see. And like Jay said, we got tons of stories.
This is the first episode of this series of what you want to call it, of the off season. Our first tournament we went to was chess.com. So if there's anything that happened at that event you want us to elaborate what we went through, we'll go through our experiences. But before we can go into actual chess and the tournaments we were at, it felt like only the right thing to do explain our work process and just how we even got here in the first place, because I don't think we ever even explained that. For most of you guys, at least.
Yeah, we may have done it in some old videos, but we've definitely gotten some more fans along the way. So it may not have been. We actually went on tour for 3 months. Well, now it's 2 seasons ago, now that this one's over. And that was more of a Jefferson graduated from college. It was a bucket list item that I wanted to do. So we lived out of a minivan, went on tour with a very new concept as far as content, and we said we are going to film it along the way. And we basically hit every stop from D-Glow last year all the way to USDGC, and caught worlds in between there, everything along those lines. And it was probably one of the greatest adventures ever. Got us a bunch of followers, got some of you out along the board on that. We had some great stories. This year, as the subscriber count got up, kind of realized that this is going to be more business-like, right? So this is going to be us trying to make it, and it's a little bit different. That was kind of a vacation, and whatever happened our way, it was going to be a lot of disc golf, a lot of fun, a lot of experiences. This one was more work-oriented, making sure we get delivered on results for our videos, everything along those lines, and we treated it as such. So it was a little bit different, but if you ask me, content was better.
Oh, hands down. I think even if you look back at the beginning of what we were doing, and from pure standpoint of look at the thumbnails and how advanced more we got and just in our craft and our ability of writing and just the content in general. Like, I don't know when you guys joined this journey. We're at 25,000 subscribers, or almost at this point. In the beginning of the season, we started chess with, I don't even know how many. It was like 16, 17.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the season, we were doing, I don't know what we were doing. We were doing separate recaps on each. Like, we were doing.
Yeah, we tried it
stuff,
all.
dude.
We tried doing separate daily recaps. We tried. We experimented, and
I think people forget that, and that's what we want to portray with this podcast too. Is we've only been doing this for a year and a half, or whatever you want to say now, and this was our first full year, and it wasn't even technically a full year. And we were just experimenting, like you said, along the road, and just trying to learn what fit.
And that's kind of been our channel motif or process, right? We've always tried to grow. We never try to get stagnant. We're not trying to do similar things. So we're always trying different things. That's always been our channel. So with this new trip and the voyages that we took along living in a minivan with the two of us, like we say enough times.
Yeah.
That's just so you guys realize.
And also, it's true. Both of us lived in one minivan. Air mattress in the back for Swiss, rolled down the passenger seat for myself, and every belonging that we needed for
True.
3 months was in that damn van.
or in the luggage above.
Yeah.
I love when fans were able to see the minivan and experience it, and we're just like, so this is it. We're like, yeah.
The amount of times you'd roll into events or just disc golf courses, like, it's the minivan.
Yeah,
It's weird at 4
awesome.
a.m. in Cracker Barrel parking lot when knocking
Sure.
on the window, but that's a story for down the road.
Yeah, it does get a few of those. But even the pros, man, I remember Paul Krantz, Simon was asking about it a couple of times, like just shocked at what we were able to pull. But it's something that we wanted to do. We knew the value of being on the road. It's something unlike any other content creators in this sphere does. And we wanted to display that, and we wanted to experience, like Jefferson said, the different cultures and the different aspects to disc golf everywhere we go. Because on that first trip, that's what we experienced, right? We experienced Maine golf, Northeast disc golf, and kind of like realized like so much different from where we're at with Northern Illinois / Southern Wisconsin, and how much it differs and how much the communities differ and everything along those lines. So that was kind of the cool aspects of our travels. And that's some of the stuff that we are so focused on pro content, because that's what we believe you guys want. That sometimes that was put on the back burner, but we've experienced it. We've got weird stories along the lines that there'll definitely be some ones that we will fill in for sure, that we will think of every stop. But if you guys want kind of a format, I think that would help us at least get a concept of ideas, and then wherever it goes, that's what's the fun part about podcasts. Like I'm just kind of not used to writing stuff down, scripting it, trying to be funny for
I
that
feel
way.
like the worry about this is we're gonna start going, and then it's just gonna keep on going. Because we haven't shared any of these stories with nearly anybody. Nobody in my life knows about disc golf. I tell everyone I'm unemployed and I don't do anything with my life, because I just explaining what we've been through is just not. Sometimes it's hard when you're not in this community and you can't just.
It doesn't process.
No,
Yeah.
like we literally we show up to Waco in one day, and all of a sudden we're staying on a property with like 20 pros and getting embraced, and it's like, how can I just tell someone I did that? I lived on someone's lawn for a week. It was okay.
Yeah, I tell my friends and my wife and along those lines that it's funny. It's comical of like, so somebody just lets you stay there. Yeah, that's disc golf. And then like also coming home, getting used to like people, my friends and family calling me my government name instead of Swiss was a weird, while being on the road and having months of just being referred to as Swiss. So it's kind of an interesting adventure. And this is kind of what we did, man. We've always said like, keep making disc golf content. This is another form. We're going to give it a go, see how it does. And I'm excited for it because, man, we got so many stories. Like we got Waco, Simon Lazat, hanging out with Simon Lazat.
I got
parties.
too drunk.
Yeah, we got Humphreys stories, hanging out with Humphreys. We got, you know what I mean? We got some banger stories along this tour that are worth sharing, and hopefully you guys can enjoy them along the ways and kind of get a glimpse of how crazy of a circus the tour is at times, because it's wild, and give you a different perspective.
Yeah, hopefully we can peel back that perspective on, because we're not pros, we're not getting paid by the DGPT, we're completely independent. We can do whatever, say whatever type. Well,
but we air their commercials.
Yeah, because we have to, bro. I'm trying to just get in the events for just trying to explain to the people.
Sure.
But yeah, like that's another thing that gets misinterpreted sometimes. Of like, we figure out what we do. No one's telling us what to do. So sometimes you find yourself in weird situations and trying to find stories and dig up information that you're being told from the grapevine, and you find yourself in interesting situations that I hope.
Sure, man. When you travel that many miles and stuff is gonna happen, things are gonna air, things are gonna go great. Like, you're gonna experience a lot. And all told, we were at 14 stops this year. No other content creator can say that apart from pros or those who are working on the tour. And that's something that's unique to our style, and something that we pride ourselves on.
And that's sometimes where it's hard to translate that to without being an arrogant douchebag of like, I'm here, I'm da da da. But that's genuinely like pros come up to us and are trying to tell us the most amount of information to relay to you guys. Sometimes we were
Sure.
the voice of the pros as much as we could because they understood that whatever they're telling us, we're going to relay it. And sometimes out there, it's a game of telephone, right? When you hear it from hand down pros, sometimes things get misconstrued. But when you have pros coming to us and we can tell the piece and piece together, and then we have other employees and all that, you can tell the
Yeah,
stories.
man. And if you guys want more on, we could completely avoid the DGPT tour and the stops. But if people want to hear how those are, in case you guys are wondering about going, we can detail the stops, where they rank. I think that's a different aspect because I think too many people don't experience a tour stop whatsoever, let alone more than one. And so if there is one that you guys are thinking of traveling to or making, man, we've experienced all but primarily the West Coast. I think we've traveled every state east of the Mississippi through disc golf. I think we've hit disc golf courses nearly in every state east of the
Played some
Mississippi.
bangers.
Yeah, man, and we've done it all, and we've experienced it all. And this is going to be a cool format to share. And we have some interesting stories, some bodily function stories.
I
some
kind of
things
learned that I
happened.
was lactose intolerant while living in a minivan,
that
so that's
happened.
cool.
Yeah, growth.
But pretty much that's everything that you guys want to hear. I know we're reiterating
Sure.
that, but it's just we have, like I said, we will have 9 months of living on the road.
Absolutely. So,
stories.
man, make sure to get the comments out there. Make sure to write them down. Tell us what you're looking for. We'll make sure to add them. We'll get into the Panera stuff. Trust me, we'll get into the Panera stuff at some point.
Another thing that we wanted to tell the people of how our work process goes, because sometimes we get labeled as the armchair warrior, just trying to stir up controversy and drama, and that's never our case.
Titles.
Titles, clickbait, and to us, it's like we said, we're at the. I'm trying to think of how we can even start my work process, but no, we show up on the practice day. We are there the entire practice day, filming whatever we can, getting information from pros, and that started from Waco when we sat on hold 18, and literally every single pro that came up, we asked them if we could interview them.
Hours.
And because no one knew who we were.
Yes.
We were just nobodies.
Yeah. They may have known the channel, but they didn't know us at that time. Or a lot of people didn't know us at that time. They recognized the channel. And we still had a few fans, but not when you're dealing with hundreds of pros every to stop. And we're just two strangers sitting on lawn chairs with a camera asking them to ask their opinions. Yeah, we're kind of different in that way. But yeah, so it's 2 days, one day of that, a practice round day. Then we're still recording and writing every of our videos. Tuesdays are travel days. Wednesday are practice rounds days. Thursdays are generally media day, where we're out there for the press conferences, where we're asking questions at stops.
You guys don't realize some of the questions we asked her. And we get all the time. You guys are just stealing people's content.
that's a funny
It's like, what are you talking? Like, we're the people that asked Isaac Robinson about his contract. We asked Paul.
That
McBeth
one that
about New
everyone
London.
uses.
We talked about it. Jeff Spring and standardizing teeth. Like, what are you talking about? Just stealing teeth. Like, that's some things that just like a little bothers me.
Yeah, that are lost. And I get it, right? You guys just see the edit, and we edit out us asking the questions.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
And
Who cares
nobody's
about
really
us?
watching the full press conference to know that it is us.
Yeah,
and
again, because we show up at the press conference at 12, we record it. It's a 2-hour press conference call. Now we're literally from when we press stop recording, get in the car, and go to as we're driving. I SD card in the computer, uploading it so I can start editing it, and then the press conference edit or whatever you want to call it as out on the Disc Golf World channel a couple hours later for however you guys want to enjoy a 15-minute cut of a 2-hour press conference. Then it's the next day, because if that's a Thursday, we got Twigs coming out Friday. So we wake up early. Well, we sleep in the minivan. You wake up when it's too
you wake
cold
up
to
when the
sleep.
sun rises.
Yeah, whenever it's too bright, you get going, and then we sit in Panera and we edit Twig. And sometimes that was when you were on the road too. It's like you're recording FPO, you're out there doing stuff, and then sometimes we run into each other when don't edit the video. And it's like, you're back. And now let's from there, once we're done editing the video, we go to the actual round. We start at hole 1. We'll follow that card. We'll record them. Then we wait on hole 2. Wait for that card. Follow them to hole 3 until we're done.
Yeah, that's 6 hours, guys.
Yeah, it pretty much came out to 6 hours
of
every
a
day.
round. And like Jay said, we're not including the hours of him editing or me writing or me recording FPO.
Yeah.
Like, that's some of the stuff that we were on tour doing every day. We're talking that 3 times a day.
Yeah, because
Hitting that.
next day is the same
Mixing
thing.
in, talking to fans and talking to pros and you know what I mean? And doing all that aspect. It was a grind. Like,
Mhm.
it was a full-time job. And I think as the season went along, I think the pros realized it. You know what I mean? By seeing us
we
out
did this
there.
for 14 weeks,
Yeah.
14 events. Like that's all we were doing.
Absolutely.
The process was the same.
Sure. And like, you know, that aspect of it, and then just living alongside these guys, whether at Cracker Barrels or fans properties or on the courses at times, you know what I mean? We were right there alongside them. So it is, we have such a unique story to tell, and it's kind of interesting. I would not take any aspect of it away, no matter blowing up random gas station toilets and having that mess, or public showers at Planet Fitnesses, all the inconvenience, laundry. Oh my gosh, laundry is terrible on the road. All the other inconveniences of being on the road does not take an ounce of what we were able to experience in our time. And some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are indifferent, some of them are interesting.
Yeah. But hopefully we can share that to you guys, and you guys can hopefully live vicariously through our experiences and what we were able to do. But that's the gist of what this podcast format, whatever it is,
Our introduction into this
this is.
podcast of our podcast. So our next one's going to start with chess.com.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one will start as the tour started. First stop on tour, chess.com. Definitely some highlights there. Paul Macbeth's first course.
We got to interview the TD, the random stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some aspects on that, so it's interesting.
Drop those what you guys want to hear in the comment section below.
One of our most requested comments, because we make jokes about being at Panera all the time, using it as our editing space. And the reason why we use Panera is because of multiple reasons. Usually you are left alone and there's more space for you to kind of do it. Sometimes Starbucks is a little confining, a little too bougie for us when we're sitting in sweats and disc golf gear.
I'm usually gross.
Possibly smelling a little musty from living in a minivan with two dudes. So yeah, those Starbucks bathrooms are top notch. They're a little bit more difficult to work out of. So usually the Panera thing is our style, where we can go, and there's usually plenty of them. So we kind of hit the Panera. But you guys got to realize, usually more often than not, when we're at Panera, it's usually in the morning for that first edit. So if we're going to eat Panera, more often than not, it is breakfast. And breakfast is probably king there. Go to best menu item on Panera for breakfast. Got to be their souffles. I know that's a random deep fucking cut for a lot of you guys, but their souffles slap. They have like a spinach and artichoke one, and they have a 4 cheese. I don't do many meat. So if you guys don't know that, I have no meat. So I'm not going to talk about fucking chicken salads or chicken bakes or anything fucking along those lines. But yeah, souffle or bagel in a pinch. Cinnamon, like they have like a cinnamon bagel that's fucking gas. And a latte. That's my breakfast, probably somewhere in between those 3 items.
Usually I'm not a breakfast person. But then you learn that you need to eat something when you're on the course for 8 hours.
You're just young and like 20.
Yeah, no, and I learned that real fast, especially toward the end of the road. But I basically would just get a bagel every morning, because the good thing about Panera too, another reason we picked Panera, is they have the unlimited because their drinks are fucking expensive for no reason.
Expensive as hell.
For no reason. So we got the app.
Panera, you'd be taxing on your drinks, bro.
So we get the app, get free unlimited refills whenever we want. Get there, get the $1 fucking something bagel in the morning. Yeah, Panera, dude. I don't want to everywhere eat a Panera ever.
All right, man, it's kind of a sore subject. If I'm going dinner items real fast, man, as good as sometimes a salad sounds like at moments, because man, when you're on the road, you get a little tired of like gas station pizzas, random fucking like just junk, or you're tired of McDonald's with limited options. So yeah, salad sounds like great. And you're like, oh, that sounds awesome. But then when you realize I spent like $16 on a salad, that's okay. Like, you
I'm
make that
still
mistake
hungry.
like once or twice, like on tour. But go to lunch or dinner if we're having it, mac and cheese. It's pretty fucking gangster at Panera.
I just would pass. I feel.
Yeah, you're Mr. Lactose.
Or just in Panera
It's
dinner.
just,
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
get like the most disappointing BLT. Then I realize like this is why I don't do this. Because at that, when you're dude, basically from those days, that 10 minutes of eating dinner is like the only time I enjoy my life for like a second. So I
Yeah,
want to
man.
make sure I'm taking it in.
Real fast, go to one of the best dinners we had on tour that pops in your head.
The Chinese food for that one place at one time. I don't even know what his place was
in
called.
Vermont?
I got Chinese food. There was wings on top. It was banging. And it was way
Yeah.
too much, and it was
A
awesome.
random spot in Vermont, right?
Yeah,
That was,
I
yeah.
don't know. It was just dope. I remember I had to go picture of it. I was like,
Or are
this
you
is
talking the
dope.
one in Texas?
No, Vermont,
okay.
Vermont,
Yeah, I think you're
Vermont.
talking the Vermont. Go to stop. Man, I'm trying to think. Cookout, guys, is pretty fucking solid,
You
bro.
picked a fast food
Yeah,
joint.
man, I'm trying to like keep it in line with the Panera.
No, you're right.
Cookout's pretty solid with the shakes, super cheap,
Yeah.
and everybody can get whatever the fuck they want because there's like just randomness of like quesadillas.
They have
yeah.
64 something flavored milkshakes, and I
Yeah.
asked the lady to pick a random one for
That's
us,
the best story
and she
ever.
picked 2
Yeah.
vanilla milkshakes.
I know.
Like, what are you doing?
She was just so annoyed. Man, yeah, that's kind of fucked
You can
up.
press any button, dude.
She's so
Any
annoyed with
button.
you. She's like, I'm gonna fucking
Stupid
I'm gonna show these guys, or pick the one that you don't have to do anything with.
Yeah, no, that's fucked up.
But yeah, the cookout. If you guys have an experience, you see one, go to it. Gas.
Yeah, it's gonna wrap up episode 1, whatever of this dumb shit it is. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, come next time, comment below chess.com, and see you then.